Everyone needs a break, a chance to let loose and live vicariously through their character, and it just so happens that games are the perfect medium for it. From taking over the world to taking over the galaxy, here's a list of some of the best RPGs where being delightfully evil opens up all kinds of sinister stories and enticing decisions. First is V Rising. Though crusading against the Dark Lord Dracula does sound like a noble cause, in practice, it proves to be far from it. The goal of this MMORPG is for the player to gather enough power to eventually take their rightful place as the most feared vampire in the fictional land of Vardorian, leading players to quickly make the realization that they're just as ethically foggy and evil as the Dark Lord himself. Though being evil isn't the main goal of Fallout New Vegas, the game does offer little to stop players from living out their cannibalistic cowboy dreams. The freedom provided in Obsidian's Mojave Wasteland means that anyone is killable, anything is possible, and sometimes the most evil options are often the most alluring. In Overlord, the player is objectively the villain, playing as a tall, dark, and foreboding force clad in spiky and jagged steel, while commanding an ever-growing army of minions hell-bent on causing as much destruction as possible. Lovable characters, a beautiful soundtrack, and overall benevolence are at the core of Undertale, but that core completely transforms when the player decides to embark on their kill everything run. Being evil opens up an entirely new game, at the cost of making the player feel constantly bad for the actions that they took to get there. When embarking on a villainous playthrough of Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, the narrative implications and consequences of one's evil action can be felt across the stars. The player's appearance even changes to reflect their sinister choices, and being evil may just be playing into the game's story more than one may initially think. Next, in Fable, the protagonist's childhood village is destroyed, and they're taken in by a guild of heroes, who train them to become one. But the real fun starts when freedom is granted to the player. Corrupt choices and sinister gameplay start to truly reflect on the player's character, whether it's growing literal horns or unlocking darker and more erratic styles of magic. Playing as a villain in the Fable series is always a good time. Now for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. After being thrust into the world of darkness as a fledgling vampire, the player is placed in the middle of a turf war between a dozen factions, and with 5 different endings, each playstyle is accommodated, no matter how grisly in nature. The iconic Bethesda classic Skyrim is known for its player choice. Saving the world from dragons is the goal, but there's no stopping the player from all the steps they take along the way, transforming into a tyrannical vampire lord, becoming an assassin for the cruel Dark Brotherhood, or just massacring Whiterun for the 1000th time. Tyranny takes place in a fantastical world where evil has already triumphed, and the best part is that the player works for them. And although good choices can be made, it's all in the name of strengthening Overlord's empire. And lastly is Baldur's Gate 3. It's not surprising that Larian's renowned Dungeons & Dragons adapted franchise would be included on a list of villainous RPGs. Kicking squirrels and murdering bards are just the tip of the iceberg in a Dark Urge playthrough. As the story progresses, the player can either resist or completely give in to their twisted instincts, making for a whole new storyline that we won't spoil here. And that's about it for our list. Thank you so much for watching, and go to GameRant.com for more like this.